Hello, Instructor Robotics class. So I've heard that many of you guys are struggling with logging back into your virtual machine after Lab 7. And that actually comes from a problem that, from a line that we ran in Lab 7. And that's this apt install ROS Humble Turtlebot 4. And what that does is it installs all ROS packages with this prefix ROS Humble Turtlebot 4. One of those packages is actually from this Turtlebot 4 setup script, and that comes from the company to set up the physical Raspberry Pi that the Turtlebots run on. And what that includes with those setup scripts is configuring the network to connect to different devices and set up with ROS. But that network configuration actually interferes with our virtual machine network configuration. Now, the way that we fix this is by going to our virtual machine. Make sure you select the proper one and you click on Power On. Now, after it powers on, it takes about a minute and 30 seconds before we can actually log on or into our computer. But we cannot log into our normal username. We'll actually have to use this admin user, and we also can't log on to FastX, so we'll use our terminal to SSH into the terminal on the virtual machine. And the way that we do that is by going to your own terminal on your computer, and you'll type in SSH, and then you'll put in the user, which for the admin user, it's vcm at, and then this host name right here. And these are in the instructions, but make sure to replace the numbers with your proper host name. vcm-44142.vm.duke.edu. And it says connection refused, and that's because it's still taking about that minute and a half to boot up. And so you'll just keep trying this. And the reason why I keep trying is because you want to log on quickly, because after you're able to log in, you still only have a minute and a half to run this line of code, or else it will log back out and you'll have to restart the VM again. So I've already saved my password, so I can just click paste. And you can view that password again from the admin password right here. And so now all I have to do is run these lines of code. And what this does is this deletes all the files that were created from that Turtlebot 4 setup script regarding the network and network managing. So I'll just run paste. And you'll have to press, it will ask you yes or no. Just make sure you type Y and press enter. And then you'll see it was closed, and that's because it's rebooting. So now instead of a minute and a half before it launches, you can actually log in again within about 30 seconds. So now let's log in through FastX, and we can actually use our original AMT user as I have set up here, but of course with your own DukeNet ID. And so it will still say if we're within that 30 seconds or whatever, it'll give that error. But now I log in with my Duke password, and I'm running again. So now to prevent this in the future, what you want to do is instead of running this line of code, this apt install turtlebot 4-star, now, you should be fine now that we've deleted it, and you can carry on to steps 5 and 6. But if you are starting from a new VM and starting this lab all over again, instead of running that line of code, instead ROS Humble -ignition, I think it was Turtlebot 4 -ignition bring up, and this should work, and you shouldn't run into any errors with building that setup script. It should exclude this setup script. So let me know if you have any more questions. Thank you guys for your patience, and sorry we ran into this error. But yeah, hope this helps.